Good morning and welcome, all you beautiful beings of light out there. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I am your MC this morning, Horace, and I just want you to know that we are just so delighted that you have joined us today. Whether this is your first time or if you've been here before, we honor, yes, we honor your presence because we want you to know this is a diverse and open-hearted community. So, the message for today is the heart's psychic antenna. The heart's psychic antenna. So take that in. It's going to be awesome. It is an awesome celebration service with this theme. So as we move through, we want you to know, just stay tuned and listen to the message and a few announcements that will follow later on. And you can go to our website, cslcharlotte.org, and put in a prayer request. And when you do that, we want you to know that will also be honored. So, before we pass the mic over to our awesome and wonderful spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale, I want to leave you with this thought for today. Just take a deep breath and take this in. Your heart has a powerful little antenna, and its vibration can be felt throughout the entire universe. Let me say that again. Your heart has a powerful little antenna, and its vibration can be felt throughout the universe. And that is from Suzy Kassem. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to our awesome and wonderful spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale.
Wow, thank you, Brother Horace. You know something? That is so true. I'll tell you why. It's science, it's spiritual science. Thank you, Horace, for that fabulous quote. You always come up with the right ones. So, to all of our YouTube listeners and everybody everywhere else, welcome to CSL Charlotte. We are the Mind Body Spirit Center. But today, as you heard from Horace's quote, our topic is the heart's psychic antenna. Now, another thing, February is Black History Month, and we have a lineup this month of fabulous people to celebrate. So hang on, you'll see. But first on our platform is my right-hand man, who's not here today because we have this beautiful snowstorm keeping me from going out and just resting all day, hibernating. But anyway, we're getting this happening, though. It's still beautiful. And I want Alan's prayer to set the tone for the heart's psychic antenna. Okay, Alan, go ahead and let it rip.
Wow. In this sacred moment, as we sip chocolate or hot tea, and as we observe the wonderful nature outside, I know and recognize that we are connected with all of nature, with all of nature's creatures. And I know that love permeates every aspect of nature, all the birds, all the cats, all the trees, and every flower, because this is how infinite source lives. It lives as infinite love. So I know that we are all interconnected beings living through our hearts, living through love. And we are guided to love each other and to show loving passion and loving kindness to each other. So I know and recognize that today is a wonderful February day that is fabulous as we take the moment to just relax and contemplate the winter and what it means to us. So I know that today's message by Reverend Rosedale is powerful, and I know that it resonates within each and every one of our hearts. So I am thankful to be part of this wonderful community where we're all here to remind each other just how wonderful we are as individualized spirit beings living the light of love that's within each of our hearts. So I release this prayer out into this wonderful world that we live in, knowing that everything flows with divine love and purpose. And so it is.
Beautiful again. So that was a beautiful prayer. Set the tone. I'm ready. So next on our platform is our reader, Melissa Spiegler, aka the girl from Tennessee. But listen very carefully to Melissa's reading because it's going to open you to a whole lot of details that you want to hang on to be ready for your heart's psychic antenna tune-up, if you will. And after Melissa's reading, listen to the song Bird Set Free by Saya. And once you hear all of that, bring them together and Melissa, make it do what it do.
Thank you, Reverend Rosedale. This morning's talk is what we are really covering within this reading. It's the invisible silk, a call to the heart. And it's written by Reverend Rosedale Jones. There is a conversation happening right now that your ears cannot hear, but your heart is drinking it in like water. We have been taught that we are islands. We've felt separate, solid, and contained within the walls of our skin. But I am here to tell you that you are a broadcast, a ripple, and a flame that never stays in one place. Within your chest sits a psychic antenna, a golden engine of intelligence that science calls the electromagnetic heart field. It doesn't think, it knows. It doesn't guess, it scans. It is 5,000 times more electric than the brain reaching out into the room and into the lives of those you love, feeling the truth before it ever becomes a word. This is the miracle of entanglement. You are woven into the universe with threads of invisible silk that ignore the limits of miles or years. You are part of the quantum symphony where distance is a ghost and time is just a suggestion. When you feel a vibe, you are picking up a signal. When you just know, you are reading the map of the stars. We are all born with psychic blueprint, a natural intuition that is our birthright. Yet we have lived in a cage of the logical mind for far too long. We have been told to hush our inner song, to ignore the ripples, and to pretend we are alone. But the cage door is not locked. It never was. The heart is already ready to stretch its wings and take its place in the vast interconnected web of the all. So, as we prepare to move deeper into this light, I want you to stop trying to understand with your head. I want you to drop into your power, the power of your antenna. I want you to listen to the frequency of your own freedom, the call to stillness. Now, I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. Let the logical world fall away. Feel the space around your heart expand until it touches the person next to you, the trees outside, and the very edge of the horizon. In this stillness, your antenna is clearing. Your spirit is preparing to fly. Let the music carry you into that open sky. And now here is a final quote by Reverend Rosedale. Psychic intuition is not a gift you receive. It's the freedom you realize when you finally let your heart sing its own melody. And so it is.
Like a bird set free. That's what the reading said, and that's what the song says. She don't care if she sings out of key. She's singing for her, what she said, it's me. Oh my God, if you just can hear what that heart is, it's a bird set free. Wow. So we're going to take a short sentiment to really relax and to think about being free, freedom. This is Black History Month, everybody. Choose it wisely. Now take a nice deep breath and center in. to the talk. You see, that bird metaphor turns psychic ability from something mysterious, right, to a form of freedom where you can be in flight like a bird set free. She's singing about the courage to trust your own vibration, even if the world calls you a dreamer or naive. Because logical people think I'm naive, but that's them. I'm not logical. She says, I sing for love. I sing for me. Now, that's the frequency of a heart that has stopped asking for which way should I go? What should I do? Right? That heart of hers started following its map that Melissa talked about in the reading. She sings, I don't care if I sing off key. I found myself in my melody. You heard the melody in the reading. Gotta listen. What about you? Can you sing out loud like a bird who has been set free? Anyway, deepen your practice and open your heart's antenna. The psychic antenna, because that's exactly what it truly is, will always be. You just got to acknowledge that. Because I wonder this, have you figured out the meaning of the heart's psychic antenna yet? And you know, as always, you are totally at choice, whether you choose to incorporate some practices to figure it out, but it's all on you. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and, integrate your mind, body, and spirit. And as you float your eyes open, it's nice to take a gaze around to really center. I love getting centered in this consciousness container with all of us. And allow something in your space to bring you to the clear present moment. So what made me think about the heart's psychic antenna? Let me ask you this. Can you tune yourself as a frequency instead of being so logical about everything? And then when you do decide you can do it, can you do it with that quiet antenna in your chest that glows like the stars in the sky? Because we're going to talk about the ripples that Melissa talked about in the reading, that in the fabric that flows every time the material flows, that soft silk material that moves through the fabric of the universe. And we're going to call the fabric, that silk, the universe. So if someone texts you and you were thinking about them, this is what's going on with that ripple. That means your heart felt the ripple in the fabric of space-time. And it was done before that person even clicked send on that text. This is phenomenal. See, most people call that coincidence, but I'm here to tell you, it's a living, breathing connection. And your heart is a psychic antenna. And it's a receiver that's tuned to the subtle threads. And like you heard in the reading, it's scanning every day, right now, 24/7. Because all of us, whether we want to be or not, are entangled with one another. I can think about one of you or two or three of you every day for about 10 minutes or so. We're entangled with one another. Let's face it. Now, distance does not matter. See, a change in one simultaneously affects the other, even if you're across the hall, even if you're across the galaxy. What entanglement means is that you are never truly separated from people and places woven into your life. Not. In quantum physics, entanglement is the movement of two souls, and they become entangled. And the distance could never matter because we don't have to see what's going on in that space. Because that space in the distance, like Alan said, it could be a bridge between us. That's what that distance is really all about. Because you might as well face it. What if I told you that you have even never met, that sounds so weird, but you have never met a true stranger? Even though you know that you don't know the person's name, you've never seen them on the physical level, but the first time you see them, they're carrying and you're carrying a frequency that your heart has never known. Either you don't like them, either you know you're not going to get friends with them, or you know you're going to be friends with them. But it's okay no matter what, because the heart is going to tell you who they are and who you are. So don't get oh, I must love everybody. Come on, let's get real. You can love them, but you don't have to be their friends and their best buds, right? So when it comes to other people and other events and things like that, when you just know, you're not predicting the future only. You're remembering this link that already exists in the universal fabric of space-time. Beautiful silk just flowing, and the heart is constantly scanning that fabric, looking for love or looking for whatever it's looking for. But I'll tell you what, we are all born with that psychic blueprint. I said it in the reading, and I'll say it again because it's the truth. We have a natural intuition, and it's really all powered by the seat of the heart. See, the reading said this too, but we've really been taught that our psyche only lives in the skull, as if the inner world is locked behind bone. Not locked. But science tells the different story. Science tells us that the heart emits the electron, okay, just like you think electrocardiogram, the heart emits an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than the brain could ever do. The brain is physical. The mind, body, and spirit is spiritual. The field doesn't end at our skin. You heard that. It's I want to make sure I said what Melissa read, because you got to see. It doesn't end right here and it stays inside my body. It extends outward toward, like that soft silk that's going out across the galaxy right to you. I could say, wow, I got to tell Timmy P that next week we're going to have so. And he's probably over there not realizing that I'm doing this. The heart broadcasts who you are. And as it listens and scans for the song of other people's, you got to watch it. You know, when people tell you who they are, believe them, it's true. Because a heart is not just a pump. It's a transmitter and a receiver. You're not just in this world. You are energetically woven into the silk. Love to think of that as silk, just going from us, that energy beautifully into the universal fabric. I love that thought, and all those little threads that we are, and and all of the ancient traditions have considered the heart to be the true center of intelligence, emotion, and connection. And the heart is a field that acts as a cosmic antenna. So we got the microcosm, which is us, and the macrocosm, which is the entire galaxy, universes, and everything, multiverse. And what the heart field does is it sends out the information about our emotional state. Now, it also receives whispers from the environment and other beings that you're around too. See, that's that's local or non-local, but let me just talk about non-local real briefly. I talked about it last week. I don't want to do a whole nother thing on that. But non-local connection is when I feel someone's present in here. I can feel your presence if I'm talking about you in my mind, or if I can feel you here. So you don't have to be physically standing in this room. But it's the same knowing that I feel when something stirs in the life of one of my loved ones, even some of my friends. And no matter how far I am away from them, I know. I just know. So our hearts and minds are constantly exchanging subtle information back and forth with people we are entangled with. In person, not. So you don't have to say, well, we're not in person. Oh, but we feel it. We feel each other. And see, all of that is how we manifest our intuition, our empathy, or a deep sense of familiarity with people, places, and things. So psychic intuition isn't a supernatural gift reserved for a few people. It's a biological, energetic function, a biological, energetic function of the human heart. So I became certified by the Heart Math Institute in 2012 or so. And I was doing the coaching thing, and that's what really got me really deep into this. But research from the Heart Math Institute shows that the heart gets intuitive data before the brain has even a slightest clue of what's going on. So stop that logical. When somebody tells you, let's get logical, leave them alone. Because you're going to lose your own heart's freedom. You're not going to sing out of key. You're not going to be able to sing right for them. You're not going to do anything right for them because they're logical and you're not. First, you got to make sure you understand that. I had to make sure I understood that. And I'm flying free like a bird set free. So the heart field entanglement allows us to tap into emotional states and the intentions of others without a single word. And even in groups of people, like family groups or teams with strong emotional bonds like us, we can achieve such high states of energetic coherence together. We do that in our consciousness meeting every Tuesday night. And if you don't feel it, I sure feel enough for all of us. But this isn't imagination. This isn't coincidence. This is the heart's antenna doing what it was built to do. That psychic insight rising to the surface, that's exactly all it is. And intuitive knowing is, or let's use this instead of intuitive knowing. We're getting my tongue twisted on that word. But intuitive knowing or premonition is not magic. You get them all the time. Sometimes you listen and sometimes you just think, wow, you get too darn logical about stuff. The heart field picks up subtle messages long before the logical mind even wakes up to them. Studies show how the heart responds to emotional stimuli seconds before an event even occurs. That's called pre-stimulus response in the science world. And it shows the heart field constantly scanning fabric of space-time. So when I look at those, I just get so amazed watching them show those, but they're not using the fabric. I use that in the thread because I see them all different colors. Just like if you look at the diagrams of them doing these things, you'll see that the colors of your brain, how it pops up, how the heart rhythm pops. It's all so beautiful. And it sees the data that hasn't even reached your conscious mind yet. Your consciousness is your heart, but your conscious mind has not even had a clue about what you just did. So listen, logic is late to the party. The heart arrives first. Remember that. Sometimes my heart psychic antenna speaks to me through my own body. Not in always words, sometimes words, because it depends on how it wants to reach me that day and how I need to hear it. But it does it in a quiet inner knowing. And that guides me toward whatever it is that I'm going to need to get through whatever it is that I'm getting through, because I'm always got to get through something. I remember 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with glaucoma in my eyes, and I didn't really panic. First thing you got to do is you got to not panic. Second thing you got to do is understand what that thing is they're telling you so that you can know something different. Come on. But you're going to sit there and say, all right, I hear you, and I'm going to take your drugs, and that's it. That's not fair to you. Let's put it that way. So what happened? My heart's psychic antenna knew what I needed to do. So I paid attention to the subtle signals, and how I learned my signals about how the level of the glaucoma was every time I blinked my eyes, I could see the fluids on the side of my peripheral vision. That's when I knew it was over. It was up there. But the funny part about it is one day the heart took care of it all and had me forget about the glaucoma. But my heart knew the actions that I was taking, and it was always nudging me to do the cleaner thing. Like, maybe you should not be outside in the cold with your eye film. You got this film around you. Maybe you should, but I didn't know it, say it in those terms, but I didn't do certain things because of certain things. But that was the cleaner choice, and the food and the movement. Those were cleaner choices as a way of caring for myself. So I thought, but I know now with a distinct clarity that my psychic heart antenna had already sent healing to take place in my eyes. Because all of a sudden, 5 years ago, I stopped seeing the fluid and I said, oh, wow, remember? Yep, after you forget it, let it set, because logic is not going to take care of my eyes. And logic did not do it. My heart field did the work. And I just listened to it. And that's what I call, and science calls, psychic hits, H-I-T-S. Psychic hits are moments when we're successfully tuned in, tapped in, and turned on, especially to our healing events. Healing your finances, healing your body, healing your everything. You don't create a psychic connection. You don't create that. You create the mindset, you create mental equivalence so that you can feel the psychic, but the psychic connection is all built in your heart psychic antenna. So this is what happens. So you get to access it. You don't create it. You get to access what already exists in the fabric of space-time. Pretty purple silk running through. See those little beautiful lines? This is why you might think of someone. I might think about Melissa, and she could be texting me with a question. My heart field felt the ripple in the entanglement before the event even happened. When you walk into a room, okay, how about this? Let's say you walk into the room of your family members or whoever, but you can feel the tension. You can cut that puppy with a knife. This is your electromagnetic field interacting with the environment. See, this brings me to a very important thing called Black History Month, because let me tell you why Someone who I remember had to have that ability to step into a space and know this is not the right direction. You know who that was? That was Harriet Tubman. I'm gonna acknowledge her because this is Black History Month, and we're getting ready to lift up this woman and her courage and her intuition because it shaped our history. Okay? This is a woman who listened to the knowing in her chest and trusted it with her life. She took people through the Underground Railroad thousands of times from the south to the north without any help. That amazes me. Come on, y'all. Can't you understand what it was like then? They will kill you, hang you. But her intuition was powerful. Okay? So, just with that alone, let's bring her spirit into the room now and really listen to it. Because Groovy is going to share a couple of minutes about Harriet Tubman with us, and we're going to give it to her. So let's welcome Groovy as she explains that.
Oh, Rosedale, Harriet Tubman is one of the clearest examples of the heart's psychic antenna in action. She sensed when to stop, when to turn, and when to trust the night. She followed a knowing that no logic could explain. She had to have this knowing to save lives. She fully lived up to her heart's psychic antenna. Harriet Tubman lived by a knowing that rose from the deepest part of her being. She trusted the messages that came before logic, before reason, before fear. Her heart field guided her steps, protected her people, and carried her through the darkness toward freedom. And that same inner compass lives in each and every one of us. With that, I'll turn it back to Reverend Rosedale as we continue opening our hearts through music.
Thank you, Groovy, with your beautiful voice and so calm. Oh boy, you're so much calmer than I am. So anyway, the universe is a radiant tapestry, and it is a tapestry of togetherness. And your heart and my heart are golden threads in this beautiful silk going straight through. Huh. And you know what? That little thread that each of us have in the colors that we choose to be in there, mine is gold today, but we're taking it through the dark parts of the back, beautiful silk. Think of your heart field as the glowing joints of this big, vast, invisible web that holds the stars up in the sky in their place. That's us. We're all those stars. Each and every one of these billions of people are those billions of stars. Our individual heart fields are joints in a vast, interconnected web, like the stars in the sky. That's why I love this stuff so much, because it's so true. And your heart is a powerhouse. It's throwing out a signal written in light that reaches far beyond this room, your room that you're in right now. And see, we have been told, or we have been trained to believe that distance means separation. But in the quantum field, distance is a bridge. I'm going to think about that, Alan. We are the eyes of the divine. We're like this, me and you, divine. We're the eyes of it. We're watching the masterpiece of each and every one of our lives as we talk in our consciousness meetings, as we relate to each other when we share in classes and whatever. But we're doing it in that beautiful, sacred distance. It doesn't matter. Remember? Think about this. When you pray about somebody and they tell you, call me up, and they ask me to pray, there's a distance between us. But this is going to bring that song. I'm going somewhere with this word, distance. It's a distance of peace. It's a distance of hope. It's a distance of a mesh. Think about that mesh that can never be broken. That cloth, remember we had that in school? We used to run the thread through, the yarn through those little mesh. Can't break that thing. It was hard to tear. You had to cut it, right? You are the antenna. You are the song. And you are the ripple that never ends. And so Bette Midler is the one who wrote a song called God is Watching Us from a Distance. But what if that distance is actually a bridge that she's talking about? What if that distance between us is actually the very thing that connects us? The tapestry that's woven in the silk. So when you hear these lyrics, this won't be Bette Midler's song, but it's still very close to it because you'll see why. But when you hear God is watching us, don't think of a God that's far off in the sky in the clouds. Think of a God force within you, the God force in you, watching over your loved ones through the heart field, especially as you pray for them. Listen and feel the ripple. Listen to the song, God is Watching Us, by Nancy Griffith. Beautiful. Wow. We are the observers. And don't get it twisted. You're being observed too. You think you're looking at everybody else. So remember that. We're observers, we're observed, but we are all entangled in the masterpiece of this beautiful silk fabric of the universe. From a distance, we're never alone. Don't get it twisted. From a distance, the quantum field is attuned within us through that antenna of the heart. Thank you, Horace and Timmy P. Thank you for really summing up that talk. See, when we give to CSL Charlotte, understand what you're doing. You're making an investment in a consciousness that just not about donation, but you are investing in a consciousness that has the power to change the world. Do you believe that? You are fueling what awakens people to their psychic nature and returns us to who we truly are, or keeps us who we truly are. I'm not just speaking myself from a book. I'm speaking to the transformation and the power I have received and the tons of healings that have come across my body from this philosophy. Your investments are the power and signal keeping us open, keeping us moving and staying here on Zoom. And every person that looks to find us can still find us. When you drop your guards and let your resources circulate, you'll tune your heart psychic antenna. Above all, as you align to this flow of giving, you change, you heal, and prosper right along with it. So just ask yourself, am I ready to stop just watching this beautiful psychic antenna, or am I ready to start being the power that fuels the heart psychic antenna? Your choice. So, as we take our heart's psychic antenna into the world today, remember, your oneness with spirit means your antenna is always alive with your connection. Follow the signal of your heart. Now, with that being said, we have our next song. Now, when we think about this heart being our psychic field, love is part of it, and love does not chase. We don't have to chase it either. It's something that surrounds us and moves through the heart's psychic antenna. So let the field of love, which is your heart psychic antenna, do what it do to flow, to lift and wash over every single part of who you are. In other words, just let it be. So listen to the song Let It Be by Ricky Byers Beckwith. Well, Ricky Byers. Oh, yes, we do. Let it be. So let this be your final activation for your heart's psychic antenna, and let it tune fully to love, self-love first. Alan, are you ready to pray us out? Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, yes. So I know that as we connect with this infinite love, this infinite source of love, that's all there is. And we let it be because we are all individualized expressions of this love. And whether we are holding babies or taking care of a loved one, or just simply out in our garden taking care of our plants, we are all connected. So I am knowing that as we just allow to really permeate ourselves and our hearts, we know that everything works wonderfully. But even this February, even when it's freezing sometimes, that we know that there is still life within the seed in the ground that is springing forth in the spring. And it's with, like that with each and every one of us as we fully open ourselves up and embrace this wonderful love that lives within each and every one of our hearts. And we are all connected with this individualized light because we are the lighthouse within a stormy harbor. We recognize that we are all connected with this infinite source of light, of love, of wisdom within each and every one of us. And I'm grateful to be part of this wonderful community where we remind ourselves just how bright we are and ignite the flames of light within each and every one of us. So I release this treatment out in this wonderful world filled with all kinds of other bright lights, recognizing that we are all part of the infinite love. And so it is.
And so it is. Beautiful words. So, as we wrap up our time together, let's keep our heart psychic antenna fully tuned to love, to the freedom within us, to actually being able to sing our own melody, to actually be free from anybody's judgment, especially our own. Let it keep let's keep receiving and sending out the signals. Now we're being aware of it. Let it move through every moment of your day. Remember, that heart is constantly scanning, and let it keep broadcasting the truth of who you are every moment of the day, every room you enter, in your home, in someone else's home, in the workplace, every place. And remember this, the universe is always supporting you on your journey. So until we meet again, let the love be washed over you today. As always, let it be the love of your heart's psychic antenna. And so it is.